Hey everybody, welcome to the Lund Loop Daily Update for Monday, June 22nd, 2026. Happy Monday. Just looking at this shirt here. You ever have that scenario where you've washed a shirt a gazillion times and for some reason, one of the times you do it, it feels like it's shorter now? It's not me gaining weight. It's not. This shirt just feels shorter. And it's one of my favorite shirts, so I don't know. May have to get rid of it. Crazy day in the market today. I think some of that may have to do with, let's see here. Some of that may have to do with something that Gator brought up earlier today in the trading room. A lot of rebalancing going on this week as we get to the end of the month and the end of the quarter and half year. So, but we'll get to that in just a second. So, did you enjoy your 3-day weekend? I hope you had a great 3-day weekend. I hope you enjoyed your Juneteenth holiday. If you're a father, I hope you had a great Father's Day. I had an amazing weekend. At the beginning of this year, I made a resolution that I was going to go once a quarter and do a mountain peak hike. I don't know, is that how you describe it? Like I was going to hike to the top of some significant mountain. So every week since then, I've been going out to Wrightwood, which is our local mountains here in Southern California, hiking at like 7,500 to 7,800 feet just to start getting acclimated. First quarter, I went and did Cathedral Rock out at Mount Charleston in Nevada. That was like 9,500. Great hike. This weekend, I went and did a local mountain called Mount Baden-Powell, which is also in Wrightwood. And it was just absolutely amazing. It's about 94, a little bit more than 9,400 feet. You can see my sign there. It says 9,400 feet. About 4 hours, a little over 9 miles, some good elevation climbs. So just felt really, really good about that. Also, started a 2-person book club with my daughter. If you read the anecdote on Wednesday, the most recent anecdote, you'll know that I gave my son a reading list for summer. He's working on 1984 right now. But my daughter and I are doing a 2-person book club. So we're going to read a certain amount of pages every day, and then every Friday we're going to talk about. And so she's going to pick something, I'm going to pick something. It's going to be a mixture of nonfiction and then classic literature, which we like both. But I picked the inaugural book, and it is this one right here, which is Same as Ever by Morgan Housel. A Guide to What Never Changes. It's a book about risk and greed and fear and opportunity. If you are a trader and investor, it's a must read, but it's really a must read for anybody because it just talks about all the different ways that we will encounter risk in our lives. And it's a great book. So I highly encourage that. So, and then I think the last thing that happened this weekend, that if you put 1,000 bingo cards in front of me, this would not be on any of those bingo cards. And it is, I think I'm getting into the World Cup. I mean, not so much the games. I mean, I kind of am getting into the games. I was watching a few this weekend, but I'm just getting into the fandom, and I'm especially getting into the fact that all these people from Europe are coming over here and apparently just falling in love with the United States. If you are on social media, you see them posting, they're like at Buc-ee's or they're at Costco, or they're having Texas barbecue, or they're driving through the Southwest, and I just love it. So I don't know. I may have caught World Cup fever. I don't know. It's crazy. I may have done it. All right, let's go take a look at. Actually, let's do this first. We have a lot of we have a good chunk of new subscribers this week. Some of them are actually returning subscribers. So I want to do a little. I want to set the stage here for a little bit, because this is something that maybe I wasn't talking about as much the last time some of these subscribers were here. These are the 5 strategies that you can employ when you're active in the market, right? We talk about these all the time: scalping, day trading, swing trading, active investing, and long-term investing. And the reason it's important to categorize these is because your management of your position depends on your strategy, right? So scalping is, it's its own stupid specialty, which I've been guilty of doing. So we don't talk about scalping. Long-term investing, that's super simple, right? Dollar cost averaging, indexing, just stuff in your 401k and your IRA. That's simple. Where the real subtleties are, it's that interchange between day trading, swing trading, and active investing. And I define active investing as positions that you want to hold for a longer term, larger positions, but you're using short-term trading techniques to get the cost down over time. Now, for 95% of my trading career, I've only done day trading and swing trading. So if you are a former subscriber who's now come back, you probably remember me as that. But in the last year, I've really focused on active investing. And the reason why is because we have a much more forgiving market and we have these names that will just move and move and move. So I've really been sliding more towards the active investing stuff. So let's talk about that for a second, because there's certain techniques that you have to use with active investing. You have to be patient, and you also have to be cognizant of size. That's super important. So let's just talk about a few things that we've covered here. So first of all, there's a few positions I've done this in over the last year or so. One of them was Poet, right? Acquired Poet through some of the active investing strategies that we'll talk about in a second through this area here. And then, got most of it out right up here on this 130% run in 1 week. So that was nice. Another one is OPTX, right? This is one that got in around 4, that got out around 12. So got a, what was that for? It's like a 200% run. Oscar is another one, right? Oscar's another one that I had been acquiring for a while through those different techniques, and then had this beautiful run here. It still may run more, got out for another 200%. The important thing about active investing is you want to be sized up the most at your best cost basis, right? I'll give you an example of one that didn't work out as well, which was Bros, right? And Bros, I was trying to acquire through some of those strategies here. I finally had to dump the larger position here, but that's because I messed up. That's because I didn't optimize it here and here. Now I did get back into this one on a like 1/5 size position, but I sold it out on Thursday because it had just run so far so fast. So let's talk about some of the positions that I'm in now, how I'm getting into them, what, the idea behind getting into them. Because one of the things about active investing is that you're going to be stuck at some point. You will be stuck. And that's okay, because you're not using the same risk management tools that you would be using in day trading or in swing trading. So it's kind of a different mindset. In fact, you want to be stuck because you want to have an opportunity to get shares at lower cost basis. If you just start a position and it just rips, you're never going to get a chance to size up. So let's talk about some of these positions.